Today, I'm really excited to introduce to you Joy Kauffman. She's the founder and executive director of an organization called Farm Stew, and we've been working together for about a year and a half now.
Yes.
And I just wanted to sit down and have a conversation with you, hear how Farm Stew is growing and evolving, and the dreams and goals that we have together for Farm Stew. Just have a little conversation. So, Joy, introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what Farm Stew is and what you guys do.
Sounds good. So I'm Joy Kauffman, and I'm, like you said, the founder and executive director of my dream, which is to help families move from extreme poverty into abundant life. And yeah, it's 10 years now I've been at this.
Incredible.
Yeah, I praise God. And honestly, in the last year and a half working together, we've been accomplishing some pretty cool things together. And it's been just being able to put things into place to be able to share this message much more broadly, much more effectively, and the impact is showing. So it's been a pleasure to work with you.
Amazing.
I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. So I know when we were just getting started working together, it was approaching year end and you weren't sure how things were going to land. Tell me about what it was like not really knowing and not having enough team and being so overwhelmed that you didn't really have the time and energy to be able to plan strategically. Tell us a little bit about where you were when we started together.
So yeah, actually the timing was very interesting because when we started talking about, partnering up and me bringing on you and the DonorBoost team, it was at the same time I was doing a strategic planning process with another gentleman. And I realized it was perfect timing to bring you in because you can have all the plans you want on paper, but if you can't communicate them and share them and then strategically communicate them to a broader audience, the paper is worthless. You just paid for a consultant that's like, whatever, that gets filed.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, like going into year end last year, and even more so now that we've worked together for this time, it's like we have a plan that we're implementing and we've been thinking it through, getting content. Even when I was in Kenya the last time, we went with a strategic goal of capturing certain footage from our trainers and to get to see those little video clips mixed in together from all around the world and to get to see the impact it was making on my donors sitting there at the event and to know that can also go out online to anybody. It was really powerful. And yeah, we have a strategy moving forward to year end. And I feel like I can sleep at night, first of all, and that I can sleep at night knowing that we're stewarding this well and that we're going to have a good, strong year end. I feel 100% confident.
Absolutely. And so now let's just transition a little bit to talking about what it was like before we were working together. Do you have any moments that you remember where you were scrambling or unsure of what to do next in fundraising?
Lots of those moments, actually. And the thing is that, you can have a good idea, but if you can't communicate it not only to a small group, but to the masses these days, you can't really take an idea and take it to scale. And I've been trained in public health. I went to Johns Hopkins. I worked for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. I know if you have a good idea and it's working in a small context, you have a responsibility to take it to scale. But without your services and without DonorBoost, I didn't have the capacity to take it to scale. I'd put a video online and, I'd work hard on it and then it'd get 24 views, maybe 80 views was like our top point, And now that we've been working together, it's like you have this whole team of people that are, doing all the ISO and all the techie stuff I don't want to understand. And, the views are going up, the impact's going up, and the return on investment's going up. And it's like, it's just powerful because, I really do feel like a responsibility to steward this work and to share this work. And you're making that possible.
Absolutely. Another thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is we've gone through a bit of a journey over the past year, figuring out how to quantify the work that we do as far as what we ask for in donations. Because when you're starting out a nonprofit, it's like, we just need money. But now I love the result, and I love for you to share a little bit about the work we've done together to say exactly how much money does it take to achieve an outcome, and then building our marketing around that. Tell us a little bit about that journey that we've gone through together.
Yeah, so the price point, again, you're thinking of a big cause. You're thinking of, starving children or trafficked girls or, some big heart-wrenching cause. And so to put a price tag on it feels like, you know, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a price tag on it, you don't have a clear call to action, and you're not going to get the money to solve the problem. So our work of really quantifying what does it take to send a farm stew trainer who is already equipped, trained, deployed out into a village week after week after week, bringing seeds, bringing tools, eventually bringing the community up, and then providing pads for the women and girls and we're a very comprehensive program. So it took a lot of calculations to figure out exactly that price point. And then what we did was we made it like a per month price point. So we're asking people to give $37 a month. And that equates, you multiply it by 12 to $444 a year. And that will transform a family of 6 people forever.
So it's like the one-time cost of $444 is the cost per family to go through your transformation. And I love that because it's so simple and it's so doable. $1.25 a day can change somebody else's life in 1 year. So every year you get to change a whole family of 6 through the farm stew method. So anybody who's watching this, if you have a heart for international development, I personally believe that farm stew is one of the best opportunities to invest your money for good. And then you take that to the next level because we don't want everybody just in small continuity payments of $37 a month. We have to develop a money model that can attract the larger tier donors. So tell us a little bit about what the price point is we've landed there.
Yeah, so we went through that process, and it's really exciting because we have more and more people, signing up for that monthly gift of $37. But then we realize, we do have certain donors that could do a bigger impact. And so for us, it's like, let's sponsor a village. And so generally our village size that we target is 50 households, but we feel we can guarantee that 40 of them would be transformed. And our price point is for a transformed family. So if 40 of them, or 80% of the families, are transformed, then 40 times 444 is actually 1776.0. So I like to say the year 1776 for freedom, and it just happened that way, and I love it. So it's $17,760 to transform an entire village. That's like 240 people, and the whole package deal of farm stew they will get in that village.
And so you can see how this kind of offer, so to speak, has developed, where the attraction offer is you can change somebody's life for $1.25 a day.
Yeah,
and so
a family's life.
A family's life for $1.25 a day. And so that gets people interested. And so it's a low barrier to entry for somebody to say, yes, I want to learn more about this. They'll opt into the email list, become a lead or a prospect. And then they move along the donor journey to say, well, I'd like to sponsor 5 families this year. We have multiple price points so that we can speak to and target the correct donor and ask for the right things for each one. And so I want to kind of take this full circle to where this landed. Yesterday, we held an event, a gala, so to speak, in the nonprofit world. But tell us a little bit about what happened last night rolling this out.
Yeah, so it was actually my first time ever doing an event like that. And yeah, I mean, we worked together really well. It's a little nerve-wracking to go from asking somebody for $444 to $17,760, $17,000. But I am very, very happy that I did that because, like you said, I think you called it a money model. It's something where you just take it to scale and realize, okay, I could spend, a month asking 40 different people for, one family, or I could spend an hour asking one person for $17,760. And so we had 5 people bite off that. So It's very exciting. He's doing the math.
$88,000.
Yep, $88,800. And yeah, I mean, that's just a lot of impact right there.
Yeah, what I want to develop with DonorBoost is a shortcut to growth. Because so many nonprofits I see, they grow to a certain level and they just can't seem to break past it. And so the work that we've done together and the work that we continue to do, I want to document and share the lessons that we learn so that other people can have a shortcut to getting past some of these lessons that we've had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to have hindsight. You can't leave it to me to have the hindsight. But I mean, we've shortcutted a lot of things already. And then, yeah, I just think the sky's the limit, and just allowing yourself to think big. I think there's something in a mentality where you can constrain yourself mentally and just think you're like this little mom and pop shop nonprofit. And if your cause is worth it, it's worth not being a mom and pop thing. It's worth going big and taking things to scale. And I think that's what's exciting, is you're really helping give us the capacity to do that.
Absolutely. And I think we actually kind of missed this step, but for somebody who's watching and they're curious what kind of size of a nonprofit you are, what is the annual budget right now of Farm Stew?
Yeah, so right now we're right at around $2 million. And that allows us to have programs in these 25 countries, but they're small programs. And so, like I said in our presentation last night, it's like I have those countries sort of filled in on a map, but in reality, they're like dots in those countries. And it's like, I want to grow, not because I want to run a big nonprofit, but because I want there to be our trainers out, throughout the country, not just in a few parts of the country. And then we also have all these other countries asking for this program, and I want to be able to say yes to them.
Yeah. So I love Farm Stew because you guys have really found an excellent product market fit. It changes lives and you're able to measure and track that. And that's an important thing. You have to be able to measure and evaluate your effectiveness, be able to prove that to your donors. And Farm Stew, I feel like we came together at the perfect time because you've done the hard work to build the perfect model to changing someone's life in a extremely poor environment with what they have. And now we get to pour the gas on with marketing and content and all the systems that we bring to the table to grow from 2 to 5 million to $1 million a month. That's the goal. And we're going to walk there together. I'll just add something in before you transition from that. Is in the startup phase, you do have to be a bit unreasonable. You do have to be a bit over the top and all in, or else you can't get enough momentum. Like if you're rolling a snowball, if you don't push it long enough till it gets enough volume, it won't roll itself down the hill. So it does take a little bit of unbalanced effort put in, and that's expected. Like you can't just have a balanced life all the way through the stages of growing a nonprofit.
I think what we've been able to do together is really have the stories that we're telling, getting them from the voices of the people themselves, and especially lately of the trainers themselves who are watching the changes in the people. And I'm looking forward to more and more of that from the field, because yes, people want to hear from me as the founder and executive director, but they really want to hear directly. And last night was so powerful because some of the videos that we shared, they were just so moving. And your team in the field had gotten that footage and done those interviews and put them together in such a powerful way.
Well, that's beautiful. And I always love the quote that people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care.
Exactly.
And that's something that you can transmit to your donors through a storytelling framework. And another thing that we're just kind of transitioning into and getting into is knowing how to tell the right story and the right framework to segments of your list. So you might bring different sets of data to somebody who's going to fund a $200,000 expansion into a new country than you would to somebody who's going to give $37 a month. And so segmenting and thinking through who is the target audience and how do we communicate effectively is something that we're working on together to create customized and personal donor journeys, to take the small donors to become medium donors, to become large donors, and then legacy donors.
Right, exactly. And the segmentation is a big deal. And even, I hate to say, but sometimes lapsed donors, how do you reactivate them? That's a big deal too, because a lot of people just give once. And that's a real missed opportunity if you don't actively pursue them and bring them back into the fold or the family or whatever you want to call it in your organization.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. Well, Joy, it's been a pleasure. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about the partnership we've had together or working together with DonorBoost?
yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you to Daniel and to the team that's probably editing this video right now somewhere in the world. I'm very grateful for the teamwork and for the deep dive that you've made your passion. And it's just such a blessing to have someone whose passion is to make me and my mission and you and your mission more successful. That's really unique, and it's a special calling, and I'm so thankful that we've been able to work together. I just want to say, like, if you're thinking about hiring on Daniel and his team, and he's not paying me to do this, I'm actually paying him. But it's, I mean, please do, just go for it. Give him a chance. And there's just things he can unlock, resources he can unlock that I couldn't. And I just thrown up my hands and given up. And then even just to have the courage and have, I hope my story and the story of Farm Stew's development gives you courage to just go for it, have the clarity, have the capacity to let him work through this model with you so that you can more clearly articulate your mission. Because I know yours is important too. And yeah, and I think just having a team getting behind you and supporting you and helping you do the ask, that's a hard part, but you don't ask, you don't receive.
Yeah, asking you shall receive.
Exactly.
Building a sales presentation and the donor journey and thinking through all of these stages and steps, it's going to make a huge difference for the future of Farm Stew. I really believe it.
Exactly. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just go for it.
Well, thank you, Joy. Thank you so much to you for watching through. I know this is a longer video, but this is what it's like to work with me, and some of the results that we can see together.
Yeah.
And Farm Stew is on a journey to $1 million a month as a nonprofit. We're going to get there, working together. And so dream big. Thank you so much for joining this episode of DonorBoost Transformations.